Detailer's Roadmap Cruise Control, where we navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between. Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control Podcast, brought to you by Roadmap. And before we get started, I want to tell you to go to detailersroadmap.com. Go ahead and click that demo button at the top. You'll be able to get the mesmerizing Pat on the phone with you. I always say to allow a few extra minutes so you get kind of used to this beautiful mustache that he has. But that'll give you an opportunity to learn more about what we do. We're going to talk about detailing websites today. We'll talk about SEO. That's what we do. We build detailing websites, SEO, PPF, tent. Find us on all the social medias as well. So today, hey, I am with Steven Ruscoe. Ruscoe?
You're
Ruscoe. I got it right the first time. Ruscoe.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of a bio here. Steven and his wife, Brittany, own, which she's definitely the better half after spending some time with you guys. Brittany owned Northern Lights Home and Auto Coatings, where they specialize in detailing, ceramic coatings, vehicle restoration, and window tint. And Steven's currently doing a boat, so we'll throw in marine there too. After working for a large detailing company but feeling undervalued, he left the industry and worked in construction, some testing equipment, and also the trucking industry. But in 2020, he left that high-paying job in the trucking industry with only $500 in his business account, or any of the accounts, to pursue his detailing business dreams, which he and his wife continue to grow with the mantra of strive to be 1% better every day. So I want to talk more about that. But hey, Steven, thank you so much for coming on board. Super excited to have you. You and I met. I met you and your wife at MTE a couple of months ago.
Sir.
It just really kind of clicked off on that, and just love meeting. You know, I'm 51. I'm an old guy. I've been around for a lot longer, but to meet a young couple in their 30s, just killing it, is just awesome. So I'm super excited to have you here.
I appreciate that, brother. It was an absolute pleasure getting the chance to meet you at MTE as well. You're a little bit more handsome in person.
I'm taller too.
You are.
That's funny. Yeah, so tell me, so I always ask on this podcast, like you said, you've listened to all of them, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we want the superhero backstory, and I want you to go into detail on this because I think it sets the stage for like this journey, right? Like, you know, and I know you're a crazy adrenaline addict as well, motocross, some of these other crazy things that you do. So fill in some of the gaps on that if you want to, because I want to set this stage for how you got here so that we can kind of show other business owners, like everybody's journey is a little bit different, but this is what you can learn from mine.
Yes, it's very true. You know, everybody does have a different journey. Mine kind of started a little bit weird. So we're going to go all the way back to when I first moved down to Georgia from New Jersey. I dropped out of high school. I'm a junior year dropout. I did not get my GED. I did not do anything like that. I was actually going to get expelled from school. And it was so stupid. Okay, it was so stupid. So I don't know if you've ever tried to like twist a water bottle and you blow the top off.
Mm-hmm.
You could like do all that CO2 compression stuff.
Yeah.
So my buddy was doing that in class, and he's like, "Oh, check this out!" Pops up against the ceiling. Well, I do it, and it hits him in the eyeball.
Oh.
And yeah, the school said, "No more of this. You know, you're either gonna have to leave, or we're gonna make you leave." So my parents moved down to Georgia like shortly after that, and I lived up north with my uncle.
Dude, they
in
had
New
to
Jersey.
leave they had to leave the state. That's it.
That's it. We can't be seen anymore. No, they left because business things for my dad and whatnot, and he just wanted to move somewhere a little bit less congested, if you would.
Less Jersey. Less.
Yeah.
All you have to say is less Jersey.
I was just trying to be a little PC.
I lived on the East Coast for quite some time, so yeah, that's all you have to say is less Jersey.
Yeah, it's miserable. I was just trying to be nice. That state's a shithole, man.
No offense to everybody that lives in New Jersey, but it's definitely, definitely has its character.
I still have it tattooed on my arm, so I guess that means something.
There you go, right? That's your roots.
My roots. So my parents moved down. I said, I'm getting into too much partying. You know, you can read between the lines a little bit. I was getting into too much fun, so I came down, tried to get my life together at 18 years old, which is when I met Britt. I met Britt at 18, 19, and I think she was just turning 17 or 18 at the time or something like that. Met her on MySpace.
Good thing the age is 16. You didn't go to prison for, that,
right?
But in Georgia.
Yeah. Met the love of my life. So they came down, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna move down. So all the little BS aside, now we're working on like what am I gonna do to make a living, being that I
Hmm.
dropped out of high school. I got to work with a construction company. I absolutely do not like that. I don't know if you could tell, but like I'm not really the biggest man in the world, so lifting heavy things is not my thing, you know. The other day you were doing push-ups, and I'm like,
Yep.
man, if I did that, I'd definitely poop myself. I would have definitely,
I saw that. Thanks for that comment. Right.
no
Hey,
problem. I
man,
definitely
you got
would
to
have.
do what you can do when you're my age. You got to keep up so I can, well, so I can compete.
If I have to push myself up off the ground, it's because I'm running from something really quickly
Yeah.
from a laying down position.
There you go.
So I did construction. I hated it, man. It wasn't my
Mm.
thing. Decided I'm gonna wash some cars because why not? You know, there's a car wash hiring. So
Yep.
I started with that, did that for 2 years, I believe, and I kind of got into detailing a little bit at a car wash. Learned how to run a rotary. That was the first time I'd ever held one. Burned through some paint here and there, you know, it's all in the fun of learning.
That's a right. That's a rite of passage. I think. Actually, I think
Yep.
all detailers should at least learn how to do that because there's a lot of detailers that never picked one up, and
Man,
so I think it's definitely a rite of passage for anybody that's doing detailing these
it
days.
really is. I'm not to get too far off topic, but I'm a huge fan of the Flex of what is it, the VRG 3401, the forced rotation.
Oh yeah, me
Like
too.
that is the top dog. I will never touch a rotary a day in my life because of that polisher unless I need to. Okay.
Yeah, again, if Rupus is a machine that's Italian made.
Yep.
My best friends are at Rupus. I love that company. But when I used to do RVs and boats and all that, it's a 3401. That machine, I think my arms are still vibrating. And it's been like 6 years since I've used one. But that thing is a workhorse. I loved how heavy it is, which is weird
Yep.
to say, but I can, strong guy, I can muscle that thing around. And so, yeah, that mine has been dropped off the top of an RV and a boat more than once and picked up by its cord and continued
Nice.
on. So
I
anyway,
love to hear that. Love that. That's good. So we go from the car wash to what the hell did I do? I think I went to like another detailing company. So I went to I don't want to say the company name in case they're listening, but it was a very local big name detailing
mm,
business that did all of the dealership stuff. So
okay,
they were at J.C. Lewis Ford and like Mazda and all these other dealers up and down this place on in Savannah called Abercorn Street.
okay,
Loaded. So I got started with him, and then this was like real detailing at this point. We were expected to polish, correct headlights, steam clean, extract the whole interior, dye carpets and seats, do those types of repairs. So I mean, I got thrown to the wolves, really. I did that for 4 years, 5 years out of my life. And at that time, I'm going to throw some numbers at you that are going to sound kind of stupid, but they're real, and I'm not bullshitting. I was doing between 500 to 700 cars a month by myself at most of these dealerships because they were high volume. And the people
mm-hmm,
that I had with me, there was a couple people that really weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing and left more of a workload on me. And then there was other dealerships that were just that busy to where that was our workload. And I was working from 7:30 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, not even taking a lunch break, pissing hot copper at the end of the day because I didn't have enough time to, drink some water or anything.
ugh, jeez,
Yeah, so being that I did that, I've amassed a collection of 16 plus thousand vehicles that I've personally done over the years.
wow,
So I have a lot of experience.
yeah,
And a lot of those vehicles were like polishing. So polishing and wet sanding is my thing. I love paintwork.
yeah,
So I did that. Man, I got tired of being abused. I was like, this is not right. I'm only making $10, $12 an hour for all this work.
mm-hmm,
I managed at a couple different dealerships along the way with that company, Lexus and Nissan. I'm trying to think what else. A Chevy dealer that I was at. So I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm leaving this place. I'm going back to a car wash. So I went back to a car wash where I was a detail manager there for another 3 years. And again, just getting taken advantage of at a car wash, man. Crazy hours, no time for anything. we're talking 10-hour work days with a 15-minute lunch break. I said, catch you
Yeah.
later. Maybe corporate America is my thing. So I left that altogether and I went to go work for JCB. Are you familiar with that, the
Mm,
equipment business?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I worked for JCB, and this is where the whole I'm not a big man, I'm not strong stuff comes into place. So we had to like finish these machines and put these forks on the front of like their load alls and all the stuff like that. Dude,
Yeah.
you want to talk about watching a skinny guy try to move a 200-pound metal fork? Like, come
Dude,
on now.
I consider myself pretty strong in that. I've done that, and it's freaking it's way heavier and it's awkward as hell. And you got to put
Yup.
in those little slots, right, and try to get them lined
Yup.
up. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it was just miserable. So I really didn't do much there. I don't want to say exactly what I did, but I just kind of like rode around in a golf cart essentially all day, um, partaking in some form of lettuce consumption, doing a
Nice.
whole lot of a whole lot of nothing with my time.
Oh man.
Like where is this going? Where's my life going right now? So I left there and I started working with a friend of mine that he sold non-destructive test equipment. And this is kind of where things started changing in my life a little bit. So this friend was a very positive influence. I mean, he's very successful. He has multiple rental properties and businesses, and he is an entrepreneur through and
Mhm.
through. And this man, I always tell people when I'm talking about him, I said, he could buy everything that I've ever owned and anything I'm ever gonna own. That's the
Yeah.
kind of guy that he is. But what I gained from it was a lot of like business insight because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very curious individual and I like asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him everything, dude. Did that for maybe a year or two. And I kind of really, me and him started having different opinions on things. And it really wasn't like our friendship, which is how it started becoming more of like a worker boss thing. And it was hard for me to do that. And then I started feeling like I was being taken advantage of, which I had my own feelings. He
Mm-hmm.
had his own feelings. My reality is my reality and his is his own.
Right.
That's just the way it
Right.
is. So we're done. Not friends anymore at this time. I left, started working for a family friend, if you would. It's my sister's boyfriend's mother. Not mother-in-law yet. They're not married, they're not engaged. It's just my
Yeah.
sister's boyfriend's mom.
Yeah.
So I did trucking, logistics stuff for like 3 years. There's a trend here. I try to stay somewhere for a
Yeah.
while until I'm
Yeah.
like, is this really what I want to be doing? Is this
Yeah.
really it?
Yeah.
So I was there for 3 years. I was making 70K a year. She was doing a bunch of stuff for us. It was I was super appreciative of it. Never wanted it to come across like I was taking advantage of anything because I'm just
Right.
not that guy. Um, Mutual differences. I'm not going to get too far into that just in case this happens to grace her ears. I don't want to be over here talking trash or anything, which is not me. But things just weren't lining up, and I was really depressed. Now,
Mm.
COVID is getting ready to be starting at this point. All right, dude. It's like right around, you're like, oh, what the hell's going on in the world right now? Like, this is some weird new stuff. Like
Yeah.
nothing got shut down yet. Um, so I was super depressed. I was gaining weight. I was 180 pounds. It was the heaviest I'd ever been. I had to start wearing stretchy shorts, my dude. Stretchy shorts. Okay?
And you're
Like,
not like you're not a tall man. So 180 pounds on
no.
your frame is that's pushing it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, talk about demoralizing. I'm over
Oh
here
yeah.
putting on stretchy shorts and they're bottoming out. I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on?
Only thing worse is if you have to shop in the maternity section for those kind of pants, right? That's
Oh, God. It was bad, man. I mean, I had to, like, pull my stomach in just to start seeing where I'm peeing. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
that's funny.
So, I said, enough's enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start really trying to get back to my roots here. I have to be a business owner. Like this whole time, dude, all I keep thinking about is I don't want to work for anybody because I'm not gonna make the money I want to make working for someone else that doesn't have my best interests at heart, and I'm not gonna have the schedule I want because thank you, Henry Ford, for making the 40-plus hour work week and completely destroying the modern man in his life, you know?
Yep.
Um, so I was just tired of it, man. I said, if I could get myself 3 weeks worth of bookings, I'm gone. So I got 3 weeks worth of bookings. I had $500 in my bank account, and I quit. I said, I
Nice.
have to go. Today is my last day. I cannot do this anymore. And it was not really received very well, even though I said, hey, I'm like contemplating jumping off a bridge right now. Like, I am dead ass serious. This is not the way I wanted my life to roll out. Um, well, one of the big reasons was my hours. Dude,
Mm.
I had to be to work for 9:30, 9:45. I didn't get out until 6:30. What the hell are you doing in the morning, the little bit of a morning, and then you come home and it's like dinner, bed, work,
Yep. Right.
you
Yep.
know? So, yeah, I was just done with it. Um, so COVID decided to just go ahead and shut the world down after this, and that was a hoot. That was a real hoot. My wife
Well,
had
it's a
just
good
quit her
thing
job.
detailing is a essential service, right? That whole debacle was so stupid.
Hey,
Anyway,
I
we won't go
played
too.
that one off. I did. I was like, hey, it's essential. I'm out on the road just driving with a tank in the bed of my truck.
Yeah,
You
there you
know?
go. Yep.
Yeah. So, my wife worked at the same place I did. My mom did, a couple other girls, and I quit and just started a freaking movement, dude. My wife quit, my mom quit, some other chick quit, and like we all just walked out. You know, we were just done with it. So, yeah, business started with COVID, and within when did it start? March? So
Yeah,
March,
ish. Yeah.
April. So between like April and December, I managed to turn like 175 by myself with no advertising, no nothing, just pounding the pavement, man, pounding the pavement. Um, After that, the second year was kind of intense because we started coming out of the whole COVID stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
second year we doubled. You know, around this time is when we found Vexa, or my wife. How did that work? Vexa reached out to us, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's just a scam. I don't want any of that. Get
Yep.
out of here with that, you little scammers." And my wife said, "I don't know about that. Maybe you wanna go ahead and check into them." So we looked into it. Sure enough, went with them. Business went up tenfold. Third year, same thing. Every year we're seeing a 300% ROI on
Wow.
our overall investment. Um, so now we're in our fourth year, and this is the strongest that we've been so far. And my wife's working with us now. She's a stay-at-home mom, helping our daughter, helping raise our daughter. Um, just doing all that fun stuff, dude. It's kind
Yeah.
of interesting. But that's like my
Yeah.
superhero backstory in a nutshell.
I love it. I mean, I love it. And you made a couple of comments in there, and I want to touch base on this. So we all have a story, right? Like
Yeah.
my story, I started in the fitness industry. My degree, I have 1 degree in exercise physiology, 1 degree in business. Um, but I started in a vastly different path than I am. My first business was web development and app development, which ironically has come first full circle because now I work for a web development company. But I've done that for the last 25 years, right? Like
Yeah.
I was early before, internet was even a thing. But your story is super interesting because you've gone through all of these paths. What kind of things did you kind of like? It seems like with you, you're very, you want to learn, right? You're a
Yep.
learner.
Always.
And I want to touch on kind of what your general learning experience was as you went through that whole process. But I want to talk specifically about this other entrepreneur guy. And I know things didn't
Hmm.
work out and all that.
Certainly.
But in this industry, there's so many people that are like, oh, the haters, the people saying negative things about me, that person's doing better than me, so I hate them, or that
Yep.
person's, all that stuff, right? I had the opportunity to interview a guy that's worth about $250 million yesterday.
Oh, Lord.
Super nice guy. After we were done, he and I are texting and we kind of made this connection. But like I asked him whenever I sent him a thank you email, I was like, dude, what is the one? So here's what I'm trying to do in 2024. What's the one piece of advice that you would give me? Which is what I call these my how did you get in here guests, which is
Okay.
basically like that a guest that I'm talking to in a party, and then I wait for security to come ask me how I got into the room. But I put myself in similar situations as what all that to frame this question, which is what process, what is your mindset when you're in that situation, not only on these different companies and different jobs, but when you get around entrepreneurs like that?
Yeah.
Because you did this to me when we met at MTE, not like in a good way. Like you and I were learning about each other, but you're asking me questions about my experience,
Yep.
my knowledge base, and all that. I had a couple other experiences at MTE that was the same. That's not common. I don't know if you know this, but
I
it
didn't.
really is not common for people to be inquisitive. Either they're intimidated, which it's easy to be intimidated by people that are successful, or look successful, whatever. But or they just are like they're so ego driven that
Yeah.
they don't allow themselves. And I've said this on the podcast numerous times. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're first of all, you're wrong, but you're probably in the
Yep.
wrong room. You know, so you always
Exactly.
need to come up with that. So walk me through that, because it's a mindset thing. Like I want to know what the mindset is for that learning, how you use that learning to then go out on your own. Like, what's that drive? What did you learn from those experiences? And how do you then, what do you do with that now, right? Like you're interacting with people all day long, all week,
Yeah.
throughout your life.
So one of the big takeaways for me when it comes to learning about people and why I am the way I am is because of where I came from. My parents didn't have money. I didn't have money. I was poor as hell at one point to where I could only afford a Gatorade. And that Gatorade broke. I set it on my car and it broke and like
Oh,
spilled out everywhere, dude. And I sat in my car and I sobbed for a while. Like I just car was looking at repossession. I was getting kicked out of the house I was renting, all that stuff. So when you're at your bottom of the barrel, and I really firmly believe that everybody needs to have that one moment in their life where they are just at the bottom of it. They can't get any lower. They're at their lowest. And from there, it makes you hungry to never want to experience that again. See, if you don't have that feeling, you're never going to put yourself in the position of asking these people questions and wanting to learn how to not, how to like stay
right.
away from that area
Yep.
again.
Yep.
So I was always told that if you want to look at yourself in your future, you surround yourself with people that you want to be like. Well, most of my friends, and I hate to say it, most of the people I grew up with aren't going anywhere. They're working dead end jobs or just happy being in a union or whatever. Like that's not really my type of.
Which, if there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Like if that's
There's
how you
not.
want to how you want to live your life and you're satisfied
Exactly.
and all that, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not how
There's
I'm
not.
geared. It's not how you're geared. But
No, no. It's for me, my personal life, my personal like, what do I want? That's not it. So I have to surround myself with entrepreneurial people that have that spirit, and you would be one of those people. If you live closer, dude, I'd be hanging out with you as much as I could. I'd ask you a ton of questions. You'd be like, this guy has got to leave, but
doubtful. But
he,
yeah.
he's got to go somewhere. Um, so I see how people operate. And with my one friend that I was telling you about, the guy that I did the NDT equipment with, we'll take him as an example. I would see something that he does, and I'd say, "Hey, man, why'd you do it that way, and why not this way?" And he'd explain it. And I'd go, "Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense." And then I would say, I'd see him do something in business about how he handled a customer, or how, like, why do you position yourself in such a manner to do this instead of this? It's those kinds of questions that I'm looking, and it's hard to pinpoint like one example because it was just always something.
Yeah.
Every day I'd ask this man 100 questions, and I just retain all the information that I can get. Same thing when I met you in person, and I'm asking you these questions, dude. I retained all that information,
That's
and
awesome.
I'm trying to implement this in my life. So I feel like you need to hang out with people that are smarter than you all the time, and you need to be put in those high stress situations to sharpen your teeth. Because if you're running around with just flat teeth, you're never going to make it in life.
Right.
You're just not. You're not going to be able to eat the food that you want to eat and do the things that you want to do. So like I don't hang out. I try to hang out with people that are more successful than me, and not people that are on the same level as me.
Yeah. Well, what they say you're the sum of the of the closest six people that you hang out with or something like that. So if you surround
Yep.
yourself with good people, and again, people that are more successful, but it's just an interesting mindset because I see so much of that. Like, for example, this guy is clearly way more successful. Like, I can hope to be that successful and I can work
Hmm.
very hard, but he's in the same space I am. He's
Yep.
doing some of the same things I am, but he and I can have a great conversation, even though he's 100 levels ahead of me. And I can glean my information from him versus being like, oh, that guy's, must be nice for him to have that, that
Yep.
experience, and he must have done something. Somebody must have helped him along the way. And we talked about it actually with him. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure your dad probably gave you like $9 million to start your business, right? He's like, dude, I was totally poor. So like, because I don't know if you've seen this, there's a TikTok that was going around that was basically like, here's my secret to success, and you can achieve it too. And it says something
Yeah.
like, work hard, get up early, cold plunge, have your dad loan you $5 million,
Yep. Yep.
have good relationship, right? Like, it's like this joke, right? That really, you
Yeah.
too can have this success at 22 years old. But all that to say, it seems to be in the industry, one of the things we struggle with is that ideology of saying, these are people that know more than me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not as smart and as good as I think I am. And I tell myself all the time, almost in a self-deprecating way, but that allows me to learn from others, right? And I think the industry
Yeah.
can really lean into that a little bit more and recognize, I hate it when people say I'm the best, I'm the smartest.
Hmm.
Anytime you say the best and you have to tell me how good you are, you're probably not as good as you think you are.
Exactly. No, you're 100% accurate. Like in my head, I believe I'm the best at certain things, but that's not something I project out to people. That's something that keeps you motivated. Like,
Yep.
hell yeah, I'm really good at juggling and whatever. It's like I'm not the best. This guy's better than me, but like in my
Mm-hmm.
head, it keeps me going, man.
Yeah. Well, there's always
You
somebody better than you and smarter than you
There
with
is.
more money, better looking, whatever, right? So there's always going to
Those are
be
the people
somebody
I
that
want to be
has that.
friends with.
Yeah, because that makes you better, right? Like, that's the
Yep.
the idea, is that you don't need to be necessarily totally on their level or aligned or
Hmm.
whatever, but it's a matter of how can I glean information from those around me. And honestly, to be able to have an opportunity to speak to, and in my case, like younger business owners and all that kind of thing, talked to a kid named Cody um, during the MTE as well. And he's probably, I mean, the dude's in his 20s and already successful, but like, he was
Yep.
like absorbing information that we were sharing. And it's, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I do have a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
And so, but that was almost a rare experience for me, right? To be able to say, wow, this kid's really interested in kind of taking the advice that I have to give. And it's not the perfect advice, but from my standpoint, I want to feed back into those people as well. Like, you're only in your mid 30s, but you can feed into young detailing business owners too, in the same way as you're gleaning information from those in a different stage of their life.
Certainly. Yeah, it's all about sharing information. That's what life is all about. And a lot of people misuse the internet for personal entertainment. I'm the guy that'll stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning just going down a rabbit hole researching everything I can research about something that my ADHD brain decides it wants to hone in on.
Yeah.
So I'm just that guy.
Yeah.
And you tell me something and you're going like, how do I say this? What I try to do is I try to take a little piece of every successful person that I've met in my life, and I try to
Mm.
implement that in my own life.
Yeah.
Because you might not do everything correct, and that next person might not do everything correct. But both of you guys have great little tidbits that I've picked up on, and it's like, oh, well, if I take this and do this, what if I could kind of fast track my success? What if, the whole you got to put 10 years in and really no 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 no, you don't have to put 10 years in. You have to work really smart and you have to work really hard, but 10 years, that's just not feasible for me. I'm not putting 10 years in something to try to be really good at it. Like if I can't get it within 5 years, then I need to find something else to do.
Well,
That's just
because
my
then it allows
mindset.
you to pivot around and do different things, and some skill sets, some endeavors take a little bit longer than others. But
Hmm.
to your point, it's like you take a little bit from each person, and if someone has done something super successfully, to implement and emulate what they've done,
Yep.
it's just a smart move, right? Like,
It's a no-brainer, dude.
I've gotten involved with some different stuff, and I'm like, well, this guy did it like this, and he's got this amount of revenue per month, and he's got this kind of lifestyle that I want to have, and this is the
Yep.
success. Like, I'm going to do what he did. This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is at Detailers Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailers Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailers Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS. Like it,
Yep,
obviously I come at it because I've got a different style, I have different language, I've got different network, all of those things. So it will be my own and different experiences and knowledge. But to
certainly.
take that model and that process that he did, why wouldn't I do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Why not? You
Yeah.
know, I just want to bust my ass for no reason for the next 10 years in hopes that I'm successful.
Well, and a lot of it is ego driven, right? Like if
Dude, I
you
was just gonna say that.
if you think that you're smart and if you think that you're smarter than this guy or girl that's already done it at that level and you say,
Yep.
"Well, I'm not going to do it like that. I got my own ideas on how to do it," right?
Yeah, this is gonna work. Come on, guy, get out of here.
Yeah. So that's something that you definitely do. I want to ask you what. So obviously in your bio you sent me, and there's like this recurring theme where
Yeah.
undervalued, underappreciated, not really
hmm
doing what if and you have employees, right?
I certainly do. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What did you
I,
learn from being an employee about how to be a better leader, boss, and worker? Altogether.
mhm.
But like I assume that there's this dichotomy between the diversion
Yeah,
between what the way you were treated and then how you responded versus the way you want to treat your own employees. Because it's like that with our
yes, sir.
kids, right? Like we want to
Yep.
if our parents screwed up certain things, which we all do as parents, we want to try
hmm
to improve on those things with our own children.
Yep. Breaking generational curses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I to be funny, the thing I learned is not to be a piece of shit. Um, that's just kind of it. Don't be a piece of shit. Be a good person.
Yep.
To give you a little bit of a better answer, to not be funny.
I mean, I like that because I used to tell my girls are 25 and 24, and I
Yep,
literally said, if you remember this one rule, it will pretty much answer what you're supposed to do in every situation. Don't be an asshole.
exactly. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a piece of shit. Just be a
Yeah.
good
So
person.
yeah, we got to
That's
be a
it.
good person. So anyway, keep going.
So the things that I do differently and surprisingly, not a lot of people do this. I have a bunch of crew members. All of my guys, I believe in contractor work. I believe
Yep.
that they shouldn't be tied down to one thing. If they have side work that they want to do to make ends meet, to do whatever they have to do, man, you go out and you do it. All right. When you're on Northern Lights time and I have work that I'm steadily supplying you, just do right by me.
Mm-hmm.
Show me respect, do good work, show up, just be a good person. I don't care what the hell you do outside of work, just be a good person. That's it. So I have crew members, which are contractors. I don't like saying employees. I don't like being the boss man that, oh, hey, good
Well,
job, boss
just
man.
in case the
Yeah.
IRS is listening, they're on their own time. They can do whatever they want. They have task-based opportunities, right?
Seriously, yeah,
they're
they really do, man.
they're 1099 employees. They're 1099
Yep.
contractors.
I do everything like that because I believe the whole employee stuff, man, you're really robbing people. They
Yeah.
don't get the deductions, they don't get the benefits that business owners get. They just get shit on by taxes all the time. It's like, dude, you figure it out yourself, like you do what you need to do. Here's my tax person's number. We'll get you all squared away, but you need to reap the benefits too because ultimately my guys are driving their trucks and they're supplying their insurance. I'm helping out with things, and I just
Yeah.
want to make sure that they're squared away.
Yeah.
So I do that, which gives them really good benefits, in my opinion, that most people don't have. They're a lot happier, and also they make a lot more money. So I overpay and I underwork.
Yeah.
My guys are typically home before 3 o'clock every day. They work 9 to 2, 9 to 1, 9 to 3, and they're making 300 to 500 bucks a day.
Nice.
So, you're working part-time hours, making full-time money.
Yep.
I believe in compensating people fairly. And I'll give you a really good example here, bro. So let's just say, and this is just hypothetical numbers, let's say that we have a coating that's selling for $1,200. Off of that, my guy, he might make 300, he might make 500 bucks. off a $1,200 coating. Like, and that's a one day's worth of work because we do have like in shop stuff, but it's a lot more detailed and takes multiple days.
Hmm.
But a lot of our bread and butter is mobile stuff. And say what you will about it, a lot of people have mixed feelings. Oh, you can't do a coating outside. Like, you're just using the wrong stuff. There's
Right.
that's it. You're using the wrong stuff. We use Duracoat Technologies for our outdoor applications. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yep.
So a lot of people say that it's BS and that it's crap. Dude, I've been using them for 3 or 4 years already, and it's not crap. It's not crap. You could put it on direct sunlight, which is not really ideal, but you can put it on direct sunlight and do all that stuff. So, these guys are making good money for one day jobs. Um, I try to give, I try to give them the respect they need and the respect they deserve, which I never got. You're not an employee, you're not a worker, you're family, you're a friend. You have personal problems, come to me. Northern Lights
Hmm.
aside, like, business is business, personal is personal. If I mess with you and I'm cool with you on a personal level, like, dude, I'll go play golf with you. You could tell me anything you need, and I'll help you out, man. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely just want to help people.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of that kind of off topic, kind of not. A lot of that just to say, like, dude, I just want to be the person that when somebody talks about me, they have nothing but good things to say.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's a slave driver, works me all day long, and I get paid $100 for 12 hours of my time. Like, oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
we already booked MTE next year. Okay, we're staying at the Gaylord again. We
Nice.
stayed there this past year, but I got an extra room for my guys. So who the hell else is putting, small mom and pop businesses putting their employees up, their crew members up into a resort? Like,
Yeah.
nobody does that, man. Everybody's
Yep.
too greedy.
You could look at Airbnb, which what we got at MT this year, which was freaking awesome and about 1/5 the
Dude,
price. So
yeah,
they than the Gaylord, but that's a pretty nice place to stay.
it
Um,
is. It,
for sure. I mean, I love the way that you're talking about your employees. Now, here's the big question, right? Like, you need to go
yeah,
through the math on that. If you're paying a guy $300 on a $1,200 coating,
yeah,
how are your margins on that job?
Phen-
Because most
phenomenal.
most people will say, "Oh, there's no way you can make any money at that," right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the common misconception. But my argument would be you have too much overhead and you're biting off more than you can chew. That's it.
Hmm.
If this is a shop-based service, yeah, you should probably raise your prices a little bit, or maybe you should try to restructure your business a little bit to where you're getting more frequent business and not just these little sporadic jobs here and there. Um, our margins on our detailing side is like 62% on
Nice.
our.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
a $1,200 job, my guy makes, let's just say, $300, and he does 15 of those or 20 of those in a month. And then I'm packed out 15 to 20 in a month on my own, and I got enough coming in to where I can pack out another guy 15 to 20 a month. I mean, do the math. It's
Yeah,
just,
you're doing okay.
yeah. And then we just added tint to the business too, and that's a 70, according to my math, that's a 72% profit margin.
Wow.
So,
That's
like,
dope.
yeah, we really don't have a lot of overhead right now, and
Yeah.
I'm doing this strategically. Yeah, I could go out and get a big ass freaking shop. We do have a shop. I'm renting out of my friend's backyard, paying him let's just say under $1,000 a month for the shop space. So it's really really good for us. But I want to buy my shop. I don't want to have to rent. One of your guests, I forget who it was in a previous podcast, said, "Why am I going to rent a shop?" I think it was a guy named Jose, I believe. He said,
Mm.
"Why am I going to rent a shop if I could just go ahead and buy the land and the shop, and then that way I have it as an asset. If anything ever hits the fan, I can sell that and make my money back instead of paying 2 to 3 grand a month or
Right.
4 grand a month
Yeah.
with, hey, thanks for the money,
Right. Right. Yep.
So that's kind of what I'm working towards.
Okay.
I'm utilizing this very, very good profit margin to set money aside for potential land and building next year.
Which then, if you're strategic, I mean, I do some real estate stuff. If you're strategic, right, like you build a whole area, so
Yep.
then your tenants pay for your building. right? Like you
Yep.
can structure it, and at your margins and at your plan and all that. You deal with some real estate
Yep.
developers and stuff. It's like, all right, well, I got 7 units. I use 2 of them. I rent out the other 5. And oh, by the way, I make, 10 times my mortgage
Yeah.
payment, on that all the time. So there's different ways to do that. So especially if you leave it, some people, like we had David Caballero, who he's outside of DC. Like he's never going to buy something like unless he buys from the owner of the place that he's renting from. But if you live in an area where you have that opportunity to build,
Yep.
buy land, all that doesn't solve all your problems, but it's something that like that guest said, it's an asset, right? And for you to
Certainly.
have that strategic plan is super cool, because I think that's one of the mistakes so many people in the industry make. It's like, well, I need to do X number of cars, so I need this huge ass building in order to do them in, and you really don't necessarily. That's might be true. Most times it's not. You have a mobile oriented business that works really well for you. So that's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the shop just recently came up. So at MTE, we partnered with NextZen USA and Labo Cosmetica. So we're offering NextZen's self-healing graphene. We're gonna start utilizing, I'm sorry, their self-healing ceramic. And then when GSO comes out, their graphene, we're offering that as well. Labo, we're waiting on the training so we could offer their Blindo, their like Blindo lineup, which is like super good. So we're gonna try to utilize our shop for the more higher end packages and keep the mobile on its own. The one thing I never want to do, man, is take my shop side of the business and intertwine it with my mobile side of the business. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I always look at things separate.
Well,
If the
they're
mobile,
two different methodologies. Like
they are,
they really are two different businesses for most people. Just like if
yeah.
you have shop, high end retail, dealership, you have wholesale, you have mobile, right?
Hmm.
They're all 4 different ways to approach this.
Yeah, and that's how you need to be, because the last thing I want to do is bleed one business dry, one business. It's all the same thing, it's just a
Yeah,
different
right.
division.
Yeah.
I don't want to bleed one location dry to fund another one. That won't do anything for anybody. It'll just put me in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in keeping everything separate and just trying to make the most of it that way. So like the shop is really cool. We're doing window tint. We're certified with Lumar, or we're Lumar installers. They don't like certification. They don't say that. They got in trouble, I guess. Too many people are messing up saying that they're certified, and it's coming back on us.
They're authorized Lumar
Yeah,
installer, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So
There you go. So we're doing that. We're working on PPF. I just hired a guy that does vinyl, like color change. So we're gonna offer that. Um, I just want to make like a one-stop shop, dude. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
super cool. I like that a lot. So,
yeah.
hey, what's it like working with your spouse? I mean, mine has been. She was a stay-at-home mom. She and I have done the businesses together. It's like
Hmm.
95% me, and then she comes along and makes me look better by hanging out
Yep.
with
Yep.
me. But yeah,
I feel
how's
that.
that dynamic work?
It works really good. Britt is an absolute ace. She's a really good saleswoman. She's very organized. She lives off of spreadsheets. Uh, she is the keep Steven organized
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
And
and
there's,
grounded probably a little bit. Yeah,
yes, we don't get into arguments ever. I can't remember the last time we got into an argument over anything, really. We're just super easygoing, man.
mm-hmm.
So working with her is a breeze.
Yeah,
She sometimes she pisses me off and I piss her off, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out in the garage, or I'm gonna go here, and I just leave and then come
yeah,
back and be like, hey, so how you doing? Everything
yeah.
fine?
I've been married
But
28 years. That happens a lot. So for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun though, dude. She's been the biggest reason as to why business is doing what it's doing now. She took over uh our media. She's our
Mm-hmm.
creative. Our
Yeah.
what is she? She's the Oh, she's gonna kill me when she listens to this, and I don't remember what her title is. Creative director, I believe.
Oh, okay.
She's
Yeah, there you
the
go.
creative director. But yeah, that's just what she does, man. She's killing it.
That's awesome. So, what kind of marketing strategies? I know you guys are Detailers Roadmap customers, so I want to talk about your
Yep,
experience with that. But I know she's doing content creation,
yep,
obviously social, Google My Business, SEO services, all that stuff.
yes, sir.
how do you think about this marketing thing in terms of how you're marketing your business and how you're getting the kind of revenue that you're getting?
It takes a lot of money to make a lot of money. That's the
Yep.
the biggest takeaway. And people get scared when they're like, "Oh, well, I got to spend X amount of thousands a month to make X amount." Well, what if it doesn't? People get hung
Yep.
up on the what if
Yep.
it doesn't.
Yep.
You can't look at that. Just go balls out, man.
Yeah.
Go big or go home. That guy that I was telling you about, the entrepreneur friend, he always told me, "Big balls, big glory."
There you
So
go.
yeah, you got to just do it. But
Yeah.
it was a hard pill to swallow with marketing. You know, I'm a lay it all out guy, but we're spending, well over 4K a month on marketing,
Yeah.
and you're
Which,
getting a
you
return.
need to do $150 a day usually,
Yeah, dude.
in terms of most of your marketing spend. But the important thing is ROAS, right? Return on ad
Yep.
spend. This episode is brought to you by Detailer's Roadmap. Hey, spoiler alert, that's us. We all know you need a kick-ass website in order to be successful with your business. The good news is at Detailer's Roadmap, kick-ass websites, that's kind of what we do. With the latest performance, designs, and SEO strategies, Detailer's Roadmap is your one-stop shop to be successful on the web. And don't forget, we have the best support team in the industry. Whether you're an existing partner looking to improve your lead generation or you need a brand new website, Detailer's Roadmap is here to help you be successful on the web. So go to detailersroadmap.com/success and get started today. That's detailersroadmap.com/SUCCESS. And that's the number we're interested in. Because if you don't
It
know what that
is.
is, please, for the love of God, go look that up because you should know what that is.
What is my
Um,
ROAS?
but that's what you have, like you said, you have to spend money. And if
Yep.
for example, if you have the staff to do it, the space to do it, and the time to do it, and your ROAS, your return on ad spend, is like 5x, right? So if you're going to spend 20, $4,000 this month, and you know that it's going to 5x that, then spend 20 grand next month. Like
Yep.
if you can physically handle it, it's like a slot machine, right? Like if
It
I
is.
knew every time I put $1 into a slot machine, it gave me $5 back, how much money would you put into that slot machine?
Oh yeah, I'd be loading it
Everything
up.
you have, everything your neighbor had, like you would be getting all sorts of money. And
Yep.
ad spend, as long as it's consistent and it performs that way, that it's
Yep.
not quite as simple as that, but
It's not.
it's something that definitely
It's
works.
about finding the right team. That's what
Yep.
it is. Anybody and their mother can run an ad on Facebook, or on Google, but not everybody can really capitalize on that. So we linked up with Luke.
Yep.
We absolutely love Luke. Um, so we linked up with him, and there was growing pains because he was just getting into the space, and we were just getting into the space with him at his
Yep.
beginning. So there was growing pains, and he became a father and everything, and there was a little bit more growing pains in the you know well, how do I
Communication,
want to say this?
relationship, all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of like stuff going on, but we finally really we got down to it, man, and everything smoothed out. Business has just been popping off hard because of him, and then he joined in with Ad Motive, and it was just
Yep.
like
With Hunter. Yep, for
yes.
sure.
So now I'm stoked as hell with our marketing plans and whatnot. Those guys are just a joy to work with. We love them so much.
Yeah.
We got between them and then jumping on with old Detailer's Roadmap.
Yep.
We've been having a blast with you guys as well.
And that's how all it works together, right? Like if you're working with Vexa, shout out to
Yep.
Luke and Hunter with Vexa Digital. So reach out to those guys. And there's a great podcast we did with Luke, and we need to do another one. We talked for like an hour and 40 minutes, and we weren't
Yeah.
even close to being done. I saw him last weekend and enjoyed his hair and his massive shoulders.
Yeah.
So guys, Chris said dude's built like a brick shit house, which is not,
He is.
which, he he's definitely taller on video too, by the way. He can
Yep.
I'll give him a hard time with that.
I said that to him. I was like, "What's happened? I thought you were taller."
He's all torso, I guess, because he definitely looks taller on video, which is hilarious. But like those guys are awesome. But if you have this
Yep.
marketing strategy that's pushing traffic to different it needs to go somewhere that actually converts that traffic into
Yeah.
actual bookings and sales and all that. And that's kind of the
Certainly does.
that's the website, right?
It is. It's the website, and that's just been that's been a godsend. It really has. I remember our first meeting. I think it was with Chris. Was it with Chris? No, it
Probably
was
at
actually
that.
with
Was it Pat?
no. Well, we had a meeting with Pat. One of them just said that our Squarespace looked like shit. I forget who it was. They were like,
It was probably
"Who built
Chris.
who built your website?" And I was like, "Oh, Britt did." And he was like, "Yeah, it looks like shit." Like, yeah.
No holds barred,
Well,
man.
right. Well, de-shitify me, please.
Yeah,
I
I
would like
like
to be
that. I'm
de-shitified.
gonna I'm gonna use that for a tagline.
Damn right. Take it. It's yours.
There,
I gave one to Chris the other day. Making websites great again, or make sites
that
great again, or whatever the hell it is.
dude, he won't touch that with a 9 foot pole for sure. That's funny.
Oh God. But yeah, you guys and just the mixture, man, the synergy between Vexa and AdMotive and well now AdMotive and Detailer's Roadmap is just on a whole nother level, dude. You guys have really helped elevate our whole marketing strategy, and we're seeing a lot more traffic coming in, good qualified
Hmm.
traffic, which is the big part.
Right.
Now listen, with Facebook ads, I know Hunter said it, I know Luke said it, you guys preach it. It's just you never know what you're going to get. You get tire kickers, you get people that aren't serious, your conversion rate is terrible from Facebook.
Yeah, it's like
But
2.5 to 3.5% at the
yeah,
most. Yeah.
now I'm getting ready to throw something crazy at you. Facebook has been our bread and butter. It
Yeah.
really has. I
I
mean,
mean, if it converts, it converts. And as long as the ROAS is there, right?
I don't get it, dude. Because for the longest time, Luke said, "Oh, we need to start putting stuff on Google and this and that." We put stuff on Google, and it just tanks. And it's like, what the hell, you know? But now that we're using SEO with you guys, which
Hmm.
thanks for taking us on, Chris. I love you if you're listening to this. Thank
He
you.
will. He will for sure.
Appreciate that. Um, yeah, our SEO campaign is just really popping off. We're seeing a lot more people with newer vehicles coming through the pipeline. So yeah, we booked. Hell, yesterday I think Britt booked two elite packages with us, which is our top of the line, and like three other smaller packages just in one
Nice.
day. So it's like,
Nice.
hell,
That's
yeah, we're seeing
awesome.
it.
And that's how we look at the website, right? One of the languages that we started using with Chris and Pat, it's like, hey, website's just a tool, right? Like we're not
Yep,
here, just like Luke and Vexa and all of that stuff. It's all just tools in the toolbox to help you
yep.
do what you need to do better. And with Detailer's Roadmap, that whole process and SEO
Hmm.
and the writing and everything is definitely what you want to get rid of, because Britt doesn't want to talk to 50 people that aren't going to buy every day.
No,
She wants to talk to five, and hopefully all five buy. And
yeah,
if four buy and book, then you're golden, right? Like get off the
yeah.
phone, go sell some stuff, do some content instead.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the thing, you know. We gotta have the qualified leads because when they're not qualified, it makes her job way more difficult. But when people are knowing what they want, like right off the bat, it's like, okay, well, these are our packages. Oh yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
looking at that on your website. Perfect. You want to book?
Perfect.
I'd love to book.
Yeah,
You know, those are the customers that we're starting to get more of now, and it's phenomenal, dude.
that's awesome.
Um, but if anybody is out here listening and they're like, I know people are gonna be listening. What to do with marketing? Should I do marketing? Yes, do it. Jump in, find the right company, make the right moves, and just understand that you're going to have to spend the money, that you're not going to see the immediate return, especially with SEO. SEO is not immediate. Don't go into it thinking it's immediate. If you're slow and you're like, oh God, I gotta get some more work, do not go with SEO
Yeah,
expecting
SEO is
a
not going
return
to do
next
that.
month.
Yeah,
No,
right.
no,
Yep.
you're buckling in for 8 months to a year before you start seeing any positive growth. You might see some stuff here and there, which we have,
Yeah.
but still to this day, Chris says, dude, you're only halfway through your campaign, just wait. You just buckle up, Buttercup.
Yep. For
So
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, it
just
definitely takes that. Hey, give me one piece of advice that you would, if whether I'm a 50-year-old
Mhm.
business owner or a 20-year-old business owner, kind of how to give me a piece of advice
Okay.
for those guys.
Uh, a good piece of advice for any business owner, from my standpoint, is try everything but make calculated decisions. Don't just start adding services to your lineup in hopes that it's going to pan out. Do a little bit of market research, see if there's others in the area offering it, see if there's a demand for it. If there's not a demand, how can you make a demand? How can you educate these people without spending copious amounts of money to make that happen. It's just all
Yeah.
about finding the right stuff that you're going to add to your list.
Yeah. I love it. And
So,
one little trick that I learned for determining like the size of your market and services is to use Facebook ads. And actually you can do it super cheap, to use the targeting, geo-targeting, and see, okay, so what if I run a PPF ad in this target market, in this zip code for this particular customer? How is it respond? What's the response? Right. Like you can just do an interest level, and Luke and Hunter would know better on that. But I've done that with our own, like if we're thinking about starting something new in a particular area, we can go to that area and run ads to see whether or not there's enough demand in that area to even facilitate what we want to do there. You can do it for real estate, you can do it for all sorts of different things. So Luke and Hunter may be like, what the hell is he talking about? He's a moron, which is fine if it doesn't work. But yeah, I really appreciate you being here. I think it's been awesome. We had a great conversation at MTE, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. And Britt also, she's super cool. I enjoyed talking to her as well. And
yeah, brother.
So hey, how do people want to get a hold of you and learn more about what you got going on and kind of follow what you guys are doing and emulate some of your services?
Awesome. So I know this isn't Hot One, so I'm not going to be like camera here type stuff. But if you're wanting to learn more about us, you're wanting to get in touch with us, figure out what we got going on, even if you just want to talk shop, I'm always here. Our phone number is 912-656-6947. You can check us out at northernlightshomeauto.com. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Northern Lights Auto Detail. We're the only one that pops up. I think we're the only one in the country, so
nice.
You can't miss us.
Nice. And you're in South Carolina, which is weird that your name is Northern Lights, but Georgia. We'll let you. Georgia. Sorry, you're in Georgia. So we actually see the Northern Lights at my house on occasion. So I think that's hilarious that you're in the South. But
yeah, we'll let the imagination run wild as to how I got that name back in the day. So
yeah, I don't. We'll just leave it at that. And hey, if you want more information about Detailers Roadmap, go to detailersroadmap.com and go up and you can book a demo. You can learn more about it. And honestly, we would love for you to reach out to Steven and Britt about their personal experience that is not on, recorded. And that way they can give you, I know this is his honest opinion, but feel free to feel these guys out and contact any of our customers, frankly.
And if you guys were trash, I wouldn't have been doing business with you guys. You guys are honestly the stellar, top notch.
That's awesome. And what did you say? We Detailers Roadmap, we will help you de-shitify your
Yep, you
website.
Will help me de-shitify my SEO and my website.
I'm not sure Ellery and the creative team is going to let me use that, but we'll use it in this episode for sure.
Damn right, man. You're awesome, dude. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, brother. You as well.
Head over to detailersroadmap.com and get your one-stop success solution today.